Hi, this is Billy Tarasio, and I said earlier that I wanted to talk to you about kids in counseling after divorce. And this is related to many of you know I have four kids, and am going through a divorce. It started about 18 months ago. That's almost done. Um, and if you had asked me before I'd gone through my own divorce, hey, should kids go through counseling? Should I get my kids in counseling if I'm going through a divorce? I would have said, really depends on your kid. You know things about your child that I don't know, and if they seem to be okay, then you may not need to put them in counseling. And that was kind of my position with my kids as well. Two of them I thought could use counseling. Two of them seemed perfectly fine. My ex-husband, or soon-to-be ex-husband, really wanted them all to be in counseling, and set that up and took them all to counseling. The three youngest did play therapy. So my youngest is 3. After her comes a 5-year-old, and then there was a 11-year-old. Maybe he was 12, but no, he was 11 when he went into counseling. So they did play therapy with a play therapist. And then my oldest, who's 14, did regular talk therapy. And after watching them go through play therapy, I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea. Every single one of my kids benefited from going through that experience. And the thing that's really cool about play therapy is you're not asking your children to talk about their feelings or identify their feelings, because that's largely too complicated for a little human. Divorce is a trauma. It's a big change. It's a big change for you. It's a big change for your children. And even if you make things as amicable as possible, and they see both of their parents all the time, and you don't fight in front of your children, it's still a massive, massive change. And so having the ability to kind of process that change through play therapy was a great thing for my kids. Even my 3-year-old became just a little calmer and more confident in herself, and a little more self-assured after going through play therapy. And she didn't even know she was in therapy. So I am now a big fan of therapy, especially play therapy for young kids if they're going through divorce. And I'm going to do a separate video about the trauma that children experience and the trauma that you experience when going through this type of transition. Because the truth is that any change, creates really almost the grief cycle. You have to process change. And at first, you probably have some denial. Everybody, kids, adults, when you're first breaking up, if you're the person leaving, then you've already gone through this process. You've already grieved. But if you're the person who's not, you did not instigate this divorce, then you are experiencing grief, and you will feel denial and anger and, bargaining and all of those things. And your kids are going through that as well. And it manifests differently. And I'll talk a little bit about that in the next video. But for this video, my recommendation based on my own experience, is that therapy, and specifically play therapy, cannot hurt, and it can only help. So I'd highly recommend you give it some thought, and make that time for your kids and that space for your kids to just process through play. They won't even know they're doing it.